Hello again. Um, it's Rick back at it, back on the YouTube. Um, I didn't really have a topic to sit down with today, but you know, YouTube's full of rambling miscreants. So I'm just gonna take some time, just get my voice out there. See what we come up with. If you I see behind me that I like to collect. I've started to collect records, and if you recognize this record, the one behind me, I don't know if you can actually see it. I'm going to move out of the way for a bit. If you recognize it, drop a comment below and tell me what you think, what you thought of the album, if you even know the album. It was one of my uh, favorite albums of I think last year, or maybe actually even the year before that. Believe it or not, I think it's 2022. Anyway, yeah. So I guess the topic today is that I have started collecting records. I started a long, long time ago because I used to just buy records without a record player. I used to sort of buy them for the art, for just having the art. And I think the first record I ever got was signed by the artist, and um, it was just sort of like a lucky draw from their website. And I didn't even have a record player at the time. I still got it, and I like to call it a curation as opposed to a collection. And I'll talk about that in the upcoming videos, I think, because I wanted to, angle this YouTube channel into a direction that um, takes on board my hobbies. I want to be passionate about what I talk to you guys about. I don't want to come across as sort of time wasted viewing. So obviously, I do overthink a lot, and I'm very particular. I'm very picky, stubborn. All the things that my wife doesn't hesitate to point out. I'm those things. I own them. You should own yours. Be yourself. This is what this channel is going to be about. Being yourself, no matter what. So I wanna just reintroduce myself every time I speak to the YouTube community that I might or might not have listening to me, and in doing so, reintroducing myself every time in a new way shows you and shows me and reminds me of how dynamic each individual person is. So it's very important, like to remind people that we're not just one thing that people pick up on and people remember. We're all dynamic. We all need some grace. We all need to treat each other a little better. I think I'm not a pessimist, but I think that the world in general, since the internet, has become quite you know harsh when it comes to the human experience. So you know let's give people a chance. Anyway, going back to reintroducing and sort of hopefully causing an evolution on this channel. I want to direct it into one particular place, and I think my vinyl collection and how I've collected vinyls over the last few years. I'm new. I'm new. I came about it on the last wave. I think there are certain boxes that need to be ticked in order for me to like say, yeah, this is approved. I approve this as a lover of art. You know, but everyone's different, and we're all dynamic. As I said before, we lean on these things that are so one-dimensional. But I read a quote today that says, "People that introduce you to new music are important." I like to do that. And I like to be introduced. So, I can't introduce others and be inspired if I'm not, you know, being the same way in reverse. I've got to be, an anti of what I am sometimes, and that's just to get people out of their comfort zone. I think it's very important. So, yeah, vinyl collecting is new. Um, it's a personal thing. It's something that defines me beyond the physical format. So it's for me. I want it to become a spiritual thing. I want it to be everlasting. Music is such a pure thing, and I think it should be one of the last things on earth that we lose. As an art, as a human experience. So I love music. What am I listening to now? Right now, I'm listening to a variety of different things. This year, I listened already in the first half of the year. I would say I listened to a lot of Kali Uchis. Her last album was exquisite. That girl is brilliant. I'm new to her music too. Like last two albums, I loved the Moonlight, and then from there, she did me a solid and released an entirely new album that I could enjoy as a fan. It's always good to like have an album that you can remember by any artist, and if you can meet people that are like that and the timeliness of that is the same and then that's always great. I'm waiting to still go see her live. I go to a lot of concerts. Who else have I listened to so far this year? Right now, I'm waiting for Leon Bridges' new album coming out. That guy is brilliant, like in every way. He is a pioneer of the art form at the moment. He pushes it out to a place where we've never heard it being done that way. He's truly a leader in art, in my opinion, in across art. And obviously, this is all subjective. These are my opinions. But Leon Bridges, if there's enough of us that think so, then maybe there's a consensus. So yeah, Leon, can't wait. It's coming out in a few days. Actually, I think it's this Friday. So this isn't a plug for that album, but it is a plug for that album because that album's going to be, from the 3 singles that have come out already so far, amazing. And also, like, I think 2 of the 3 are probably on my top 10 for the year. I don't do a top 10, I do a top 4 or 5, and then I just pick one song. It's not easy. Who else? We've got a lot of concerts. The concerts sort of govern who we're going to go, who we might see. One artist that I think is great right now is Jamie XX, because it's been a while since we've danced that way. I mean, no more needs to be said about that album. The album is called In Waves. Amazing. So, yeah, like if you're from England, if you understand a bit of even if you're not, it should make you dance. But if you are from the UK, you might actually get to hear some of the rugged and raw and the underground, the garage that is included in a lot of that. He's included a lot of deep cuts in terms of sampling. But that album on vinyl, I think, is controversial. If you go on some of these sites where you can buy vinyl, Discogs, if you go to one of the posts for that album, it's controversial. People are saying that it's almost too loud for vinyl, and they couldn't play it on their decks. So I think that's sick, because I'm grateful that my equipment was set up correctly. I borrowed this record player from a friend, so he's been in the game, vinyl record collecting, listening. He's been in it since the early 90s, maybe even the 80s, and I was born in the 80s, so he's been in it, and good for him, because he helped me get my sound right, in that he just lent me his deck. But because it's set up correctly, I didn't have a problem listening to Jamie XX in Waves. It bumps mad, like it's a mad listen. I don't think there's anything that loud in my collection, to be honest, because it just pushes. You can tell that if it was any louder, if it was recorded or mastered any louder, it would have been a problem for vinyl. So I like people that push it all the way there, rather than stay in the confines of what they can, what is allowable. So yeah, those are a couple. I'm almost. I subscribe to Vinyl Me Please. There's a lot of controversy going on. Not just now, but this year, more now than ever with Vinyl Me Please. I'm I'm gonna just give you little bits and bobs, but I've got a feeling I'm gonna stay with Vinyl Me Please. I've got my reasons for that. One day maybe we might pick it up. Maybe these are topics for the next week. But Vinyl Me Please, I do. I struggle because it's not. I'm very picky about my music choices, but I let them pick what I can pick from, and sometimes it's not something I want, but it ends up on my door. But other time, like majority of the time, I want to get something that I want in my collection, curation. Um, but they're still coming. I think I'm going to stick with them. Just this 5 years of collecting, it has shown me that I might not be cut out to sell records, because all I want to do is grow my own collection, and there are some in there that are babies. They are like, where else am I ever going to get this again? This was an opportunity that I had the resources to jump on, and if I ever got rid of any one of these few staples in my curation, then it wouldn't be as good anymore. So right now, the whole group of records is quite dear and personal to me right now. So there are some that I'll buy two of, and I'm like, hey, let's see what happens down the road. Maybe I'll open a new one, or I might get rid of one. But I'm excited. I want to keep posting. I want to keep putting myself out there. You know, I have so much to share. There's a lot of action behind the things I say. I don't just sit in front of media. You know, we are. I need to start creating. This is a this is an internal struggle, and this is a plea to myself to really get serious about like creating. You know, so I hope this finds you all well, and see you next time. Peace.